Funnily enough, it was... Yeah. It was good and it was bad. Okay. I think that it was one of my busiest years in my entire career. I was working back to back for about 8 months. But while that good thing was happening, it was happening, within the backdrop of COVID and how many people were dying and SARS and so many things, were taking people's lives. So it's almost like you have this pleasurable thing, but it's, you can't ignore the pain that's going on around you. So it was a bittersweet year. I've always wanted, I'm a very quiet person. I'm a reserved person, and I like to observe and create stories around what I observe. I've always been that way. So I knew that I wanted to tell stories. I just didn't know that I was going to, I suppose, do it in this way. And considering that I used to be rather shy, I used to be painfully shy, it was a surprise to my dad when I started doing this. So I didn't stumble on it. I wanted to do it. I just didn't know I was going to do it this way. Does that make any sense? Yeah. So, and I mean, I started off really well. I think I've been blessed. I've been fortunate. The projects I've been, I've had the opportunity of working on have been really good. Most of them have been projects of a certain scale, of a certain level, and I'm grateful for that, because I do understand that this industry it's slim pickings, really, and not a lot of good things are happening. So if you're fortunate to be a part of it in the way that I have, it's a major blessing. It is such a freaky story. I used to work in the corporate world. I was working in renewable energy, actually. And a friend of mine, she was like, oh, she reached out to me randomly and she's like, you don't call anyone, you don't... She's like, do you act? Like, do you still act? Do you want to... Have you thought about acting? And I said, yeah, but I haven't found anything that I want to do yet. So she's like, oh, well, she's going for this audition tomorrow. And I can't come because they've like closed down the website. It was a big do. They had a website and everything. You had to apply, register, download your sites. And she's like, she's done it and the website is closed. So, but she'll tell me about other things if anything else comes up. I was like, okay. But I just felt this niggling feeling that I was supposed to go. So I played hooky from work. I kid you not. I literally just didn't show up at work the next day. I went to the location of where the audition was, and the rest is history. Wow. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. It has been like 2020, bittersweet. There's been good times. There have been some not so good times. But I think that that's what life is, and you take it within your stride. Life is not always going to be a high, and it's not always going to be a low. So what I think you should do is you maximize your highs really well, so that when you are in the valley, you can eat and you don't get depressed and you don't go and, like off yourself. So within Nollywood, it's the same thing. You're not always going to have work. I haven't always had work. Like I said, 2020 was my busiest year, but I think 2018 was probably, I only did one job in 2018, so coming in, that was not my expectation. I thought if you're good at this job, you're just going to blow and then you'll be working every single day. It's not true. And there's nothing wrong with that. But it took me a while to learn that the reality of this job is you will work sometimes and you will not work. And that is okay. Yeah. It's jarring. It's a very jarring experience, because if you're coming from a place where there's structure, and you're going into a place where there is no structure, there is no way. Even if you're Superman, it's going to throw you a little bit. And I'm trying to be polite, but Nollywood is highly volatile, in that it is a constantly evolving, moving industry, and it is not as regulated or structured as other industries. You have people who actually want to do this job here, You have people who don't want to work here. You have people who stumbled on it that are here. You have people that are not good at it that are here. It's every single person and the kitchen sink, and you're having to wade through all of that humanity to, you know, have your face and your voice heard or seen. So it is a jarring experience, but it's worth it if you stick to it and if this is what you're supposed to be doing. Because I'm one of the people, I believe that not everything is for everyone. Yeah. And I think that if you find your place, you will excel. If you are not in your place, you will not excel. If you like, die there. You can stay there for 10 years and put in the work. Someone who is meant to be there will come in and do half the work you're doing. And it's like, so I think that there is, you know, a lot of factors are involved in being successful in Nollywood and in working in this industry. And if you're a newbie or someone who's just coming in, if you're coming in from another country, prepare yourself, have realistic expectations, and make sure you have another thing you're doing. Otherwise, you're going to be hungry. I would describe it as so anything can work, but you have to take care of it, and you have to put in the right amount of time, the right amount of effort. You have to be present. You have to know when to back down, because even in a relationship, it is give and take. There are times when you have to pull back for your relationship to work. Yeah. Then there are times that you will, you know, press forward. So with Nollywood, it's the same thing. You have to know that you're coming into an industry that is not going to give you anything for free, even the things that seem like they're free. If you're a beautiful woman or you're a handsome guy or whatever, and you think, oh, hey, I'm just going to come in and my looks are going to get me through, you're going to be, it's going to be a rude shock, because there are beautiful people everywhere. You have to come with something that is unique to you. And the only thing that is unique to every person, we all have it, but it presents differently depending on who you are, is your ethic, what you bring to the table. How hard are you willing to work? How much staying power do you have? How much do you believe in the integrity of your craft and what you offer? And at the end of the day, that kind of is what separates the wheat from the chaff, in my opinion. So this conversation, and I wish I could remember her name. There was this person, I think her name is Ego something. Ego, shout out to you. She started this conversation on Twitter a couple of weeks ago. And it was this exact same thing that you just said. Oh, there is this actor or actress in the industry that I think is highly underrated and needs to do more jobs, and she needs to be cast in more lead roles. Yeah, I agree with her. Adekunle Gold, shout out to, like, I'm fangirling and I'm not even seeing you, but he tweeted the same thing. And I've been doing this for I'm going into my 6th year. Okay. For some people that's a long time, for some people that's nothing. I'm still a baby. The question isn't whether or not you are rated. I think the question is, what did you come to achieve? For me, it was never about the external validation. I know that there is a measure of external validation because of the nature of our work. If people don't watch your work, then you're not acting, you don't have a job. However, the reason I'm doing what I do is because I feel like there are people's stories that need to be told. I would never have met you if I wasn't doing this job, for instance. But you exist. There's the Akara woman on the road who, you don't know her and you probably would never interact with her. But if you watched a film about her and then you know why she wakes up in the morning, is she frying because she has to feed her 5 children, you get to interact with other people's lives. And I think that one of the most fundamental human needs is the need to be seen. To be seen and to know that you exist and someone has noted your existence. That's why I want to tell stories and that's why I want to act. So if I get to do it one time, I fulfill my purpose. If I get to do it 100 times, same thing. Yeah. My job is to make sure that I'm honest with myself and I do justice to that person's story, because that might be the only opportunity they get to be heard or seen by anybody. Do you see what I mean? Yeah. So, yeah, who doesn't want to be a superstar on the billboards and everything? But the reason I'm not really affected is because that was not what brought me into it. So that's why, you know, I'm not really affected by the not being rated, or not that, by not having, I suppose, the
accolades that
yeah, like how you know you have all the people talking about you, or you have like 1 million followers on Instagram. My Instagram is a graveyard because they are following me from my village. I don't know what happened, but the struggle is real. But here's the thing, and shout out to my Instagram followers, I have a really tight, loving community of people. We are small, but we know ourselves and we love ourselves, and that's what I like. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think my career fits me. It's who I am. If I get bigger, hey, I might disappear because I'm such a private person. Or maybe by the time I get bigger, I would have become the kind of person who wants all of that exposure.
Okay.
But I'm good where I am right now.
Oh,
absolutely. 1000%, no questions asked. Because you have to be able to control the narrative. You know, if you want to tell, like I said, if I want to tell stories, then I want to tell them the right way. At some point, I have to be able to be in the driver's seat. And in our industry, being in the driver's seat is producing, it's writing, it is creating, it's like manufacturing, basically. So Dangote is a big boy because he's in manufacturing. It's not because he's just a businessman. You own the quality, you control the quality of the product when you're manufacturing or when you're creating. And I think that's very important. So absolutely, I'm going to do it. Yes.
Okay.
Oh yes. Am I supposed to be honest? To viewers, I hope you were expecting honesty, because yes, I mean, see, we had a conversation at some point in time, and I was saying that women have been commodified. We are seen as products or commodities, and a commodity is meant to be consumed. It is meant to be exchanged for some other measure of value to provide satisfaction. Now, it is wrong, but that is what it has become. And when the consumer thinks that as long as I can afford to buy this product, I should be able to have it, then you see why women will continue to be sexually harassed. Anywhere, not just in Nollywood. You can go to the hospital to get your shots, and then the doctor is like, you know, nice legs. It might not be seen as anything, but the mindset that we have as women, as men, as human beings, and then as Nigerians, is that women are ownable.
Yeah.
And that is where the problem is. So yes, I've been sexually harassed. I think I will still be sexually harassed. But the truth of the matter, I will. But the truth of the matter is, I have come to a place in my own evolution as a person to know that there's things that I will do and things that I will not do. And I will own the things I do, and I will not apologize for the things I don't do. So if I am not interested in you, you can come with anything on the planet. I'm not interested. It is a matter of value for me. Because if I am giving myself to a person, there has to be something behind it. And for me, it's a deeper thing than fame or a phone, or, do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. Even if it's just pleasure, pleasure is deeper than a material thing. So there's a lot more that comes into it, and it's unfortunate that some women have to bend to that. It is unfortunate that they don't feel like they have an alternative. And I hope that we come to a place where women understand that they do have agency over their bodies and over what they do with these bodies, because it belongs to you. Do you see what I'm saying? And if you're giving it to someone, it should not be under duress of any kind, subconscious or covert or overt. Yeah. Training. And I'll tell you why. If you invest time, effort into something, you respect it a lot more.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of people in the industry haven't gone through the pain of learning how to do the job so they can treat it flippantly. And that trickles down to every other aspect. So for instance, you can be on set and call an actor and say, come to set now, come to set now, no. Are they doing anything? Are they not doing anything? You don't care. And you think, well, I'm doing this person a favor. Dama, is there work for them to do? Come and work. If I call you at midnight, you will show up. An actor who does not know his or her worth, or is not worth their mettle, will jump up and go. But someone who went to school, who trained for hours, who has put in the blood, sweat and tears to get to the point where their skill is monetizable, is scientific, so you know that my 1 + 1 = 2. If I do this and this, I'm going to get this result because I have trained myself to get to that point. They're not going to get up and just, no, because that person has things to do. Yeah. Even if the only thing they're doing is getting better at what they do. So there is a dearth in people being trained and having the loyalty and integrity that comes with learning a skill. I think we're losing a lot of that, especially in our generation. I think the older generations kind of took training a little more serious. Now we just do anything. Pick up a camera and you have become a journalist. You sit down there, you have become a coach, life coach of what? So it's the age that we're in. But I think if we can move ourselves to a place where we put in the time to learn how to do this the right way. That's the only thing that Hollywood has on us. They know how to do it the right way. And they make sure they do it the right way. The reason they do that is because they know how many hours and years and money they spent learning how to do it the right way. They're not just going to throw all of that away and say, you know what, hey, let's just shoot with one camera. We can just, no, they will shoot with 50 because that is what they spent their life doing. You see what I mean? Mm. So that would be one of the things, is having people learn this industry and learn this job so that they can take it more seriously. Oh, I'm doing some work. I'm actually flexing my producing muscle. Yes. And it's very exciting. I'm producing a couple of shows. Hopefully they will pan out. I actually want to produce my own first short film as well, and I want to put it in festivals. So I've started pre-production for that. And I do have a couple of acting jobs as well. So the next 6 months shaping up to be pretty busy, and I'm excited. Wow. My most challenging project. I'm thinking hard. Let me tell you why it's hard for me to answer. It's because if you're asking in terms of characterization, how did I get into character, or was it the environment we were working in? What is the context of the question? Just difficult?
What job were you given and you felt, wow, I've never done this kind of job before, it's giving me, I'm almost going to cry.
Hey! So there was this project that someone had recommended me for in Abuja. Abuja is home, so I was happy to go back home and work. I'm not going to call anybody's names because I do not believe in bringing people down.
Which is fine.
But my goodness. Can we swear it was a shit show of a production? I can't even lie. I mean, the only thing that was missing from that production was the circus, elephants running through the set and posing in front of the camera. It was so disorganized. The people were fighting on set. We were lost. It was terrible. And it came down to the person that was at the helm of that production not being trained enough. So you have this idea and you want to do it, but execution matters and you can't just jump in. I know people think you can, but you really can't. Especially when you're working with certain kind of people who will not let you, they won't let you do shit. And that was one of the issues we kept having. So actors were directors, and you know, it was terrible. Yeah, I actually wrote an article about that. It was that bad. It was bad, fam. If you're an Annie wannabe, my advice to you is just stop right now and focus on being yourself. If there is anyone that I inspire in any way, big or small, it is a huge honor to be able to influence people, and my hope is that I can do so positively and honestly, without being put on a pedestal, because I'm not an angel, and just being allowed to be human. But if you want to do this job, or if there's anything that you feel is a dream but it's unattainable or it's not structured, and you have to make your way as you go, if you believe that that's what you're supposed to be doing, do it. Just do it. I promise you will fail. You will fail, woefully, but you will always get up, because it is what you're meant to be doing. So do it.